The Cowboys are still going to win Super Bowl. Dak Prescott over Tony Romo any day.
Oh,
Come on. See? This is what happens. All right. This
Blame
is
it
what
on
happens
Dak.
when I'm on the sticks here. Can y'all hear us now? Can you hear us now? I think y'all got us. Yep. Okay. I think we're good because I can hear it coming through. So I'm gonna play it again then, just because we're talking about Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are still going to win Super Bowl. Dak Prescott over Tony Romo any day. So that's it. Yeah, sorry. This didn't go as smoothly as I pictured. I'm newly running the board, so
well, look, if there's a positive about Dak, it's now he has plenty of time to come on this show and hang out with us. So,
yeah.
what more could he want to do?
Yeah, God, I can't believe they look so bad. That first drive looked so good for the Cowboys, and then it just kind of fizzled and it was gone. I don't know. Maybe that's how it's gonna go all year, and maybe the dream of landing Jackson Smith at Ohio State is real. I mean, I wouldn't be mad about it if that happened. So we'll see. But the Cowboys stink, and Dak Prescott is taking a step back in my eye for now. For now, we're not going to overreact, because if we overreacted, we'd have plenty to overreact to about what happened this past week about a few of our teams, right?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
We're not going to overreact. Hey, we got a good show tonight. We're going to bring on at 5:45 Heritage Christian Academy athletic director and head football coach Mack, and talk about his squad and the hot start that they're off to. And he said it at the beginning of the year when we went to a scrimmage that he thought that they were going to be pretty good, and he thought that they were going to be able to compete now that they're playing schools that are more in their numbers, their size, and boy, are they competing. They're just putting up big numbers, and their defense is playing really well. So I'm sure he's going to say, hey, we got a lot to improve on, and we're just taking steps here, but it's very impressive so far this early in the season. As you can see on the screen, Vice and Henley, attorneys, counselors of law, they are sponsoring this opening segment. We appreciate everything that they have done for us. Obviously all our sponsors. We're here at Rockwall Ford. We do this every Wednesday. We really couldn't do this without Rockwall Ford and all of our sponsors. So very appreciative to Vice and Henley and the commitment that they've made to us, and allows us to do some other stuff. We've got to talk about that yellow car. Did y'all see that over there?
Yes.
That Rockwall Robotics.
Yep.
They give a Mustang away every year, and it's a raffle, and I think it's like $10 or $20 or something like that, and they raise a lot of money, but you walk away with a brand new Mustang there. So
right on.
We'll be talking about more to come. Let's see. We have volleyball. I want to give some shout outs to 10-6A volleyball has started. District. Rockwall and Heath both off to a hot start in district, both undefeated. So they're kind of leading the way. Horn also with a win. I think I got there you go. Mesquite shows 0-0, North Forney 0-1, Royce City and Tyler 0-2. But we are early on in district play, so obviously, we'll see how the season goes. And Rockwall's played I haven't kept up with Heach, and Coach Unger, she's probably going to be pretty upset with me because I haven't been over there yet. But I've been to some Rockwall games, and they've played some tough opponents. They've played some tough matches. So we'll see, how that fares for them going through. But obviously, Ashcraft and Becca Kelly, they've got some talented girls over there at Rockwall, and I'm excited to see what Heath brings too. Obviously, we're going to get to some Royce City football. We're going to get some Heath football, some Rockwall football. Anything, gentlemen, you want to shout out? I want to say this. I told you I was playing some. So last week I had a golf tournament that I was committed to, and so I couldn't go. I'm sorry. And I missed some really good catches or non-catches by some Heath by some Heath Hawk wide receivers. But that was fun. I had both. People were making fun because I had two phones out and I was watching Rockwall and Heath on this one. I couldn't find Royce City on the NFHS, and apparently it's because my subscription expired or something like that.
Yeah, we completely blame you for last Friday,
yes.
Just so you know.
I've got the inside scoop. I just go straight to the source.
You messed up the whole ritual pregame. I mean, this rests solely on your shoulders.
I will take that, and I will I'll go into Coach Petroff's office.
He's expecting
yeah,
it.
And I'll let him handle the business. But we're going to talk about them, and but back to golf. So in Rockwall at Golf and Athletic Club, they have the first stage of qualifying for Q School. And basically they have pre-qualification, which I've been at first stage, which is here, second stage, and then I believe after that's when they get exempt or cards onto the Corn Ferry Tour, which, if those that do not know, that is a step below the PGA Tour. You graduate from that tour to the next. But I'm caddying for a guy. I'm carrying his bag, and I do not I do not walk very much anymore these days. It's been quite the hike. His name is Charles Porter. He's out of San Francisco.
Right.
I wish I had a picture. This guy's 6'8".
And you were his caddy.
And I am still his caddy. It's a 4-day tournament. It started Tuesday. Today was round 2. I say we because often a caddy and a player, their team, we're -2 after 2 days. He shoots 69-73 today. The course was set up quite a little tougher today, and we battled some wind, but anyway, he's 6'8". He almost stepped on me because he didn't see me.
I was just for the record, you're not 6'8".
No.
Okay.
No, I'm a strong 5'6".
Exactly how big is the bag for someone that's 6'8" for his clubs?
So
5'6".
So he
that's
called
what I was
me.
thinking.
All right, okay. He called me. I threw my name in the hat for. I said, hey, if a pro needs a caddy, let me know. I have some good course knowledge. I know the course well. I can probably help out. So they hooked me up with this guy, and he calls me. So one of the first things I said was, if you have a staff bag, that's those big giant bags that these PGA Tour pros. I was like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Second, I need to know, are push carts allowed? Like, can I push the bag? And thank goodness they were, because I'm pushing the cart now. There's some hills, and I'm catching.
So
my
you're
breath.
regretting your decision, is what you're saying?
No, you know what? I'm not. I am very tired. I get. It's a lot, but man, those guys, it's special to watch, and it's really cool for them. It's really cool to be a part of. So I'm really excited to. His name's Charles Porter. Maybe he's watching. He's interested in kind of what I was doing. But shout out to him and his aunt and uncle who flew in from Chicago. They're really nice people. But so 2 more days to go at Rockwall Golf and Athletic Club, and it's a good test, and we're having a lot of fun watching those guys play some golf. So I got that going on, and then there was one more thing. Was it? Drawing a blank. I don't know.
I don't know, buddy.
Yeah, Dak Prescott. He's falling down the chain. Okay, Coach Mack is here, the Heritage Christian Academy athletic director, head football coach. He probably coaches basketball, badminton,
water polo.
Not water polo yet, but he's probably pulling for it. He's just waiting on that new gym. If you get that new gym and then the aquatic centers to follow, so we'll see what happens. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have Coach Mack join us. We're going to talk a little six-man football, which if you have not had a chance to see it, I strongly urge you to go watch a game and support those guys. You know, hey, everybody's going to have bye weeks, right? Heath Hawks will have a bye week. Rockwall will have a bye week. Roy City's going to have a bye week. Use that bye week to go see what six-man football is all about. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Coach Mack.
Single leg, go he rap. You thought it was a drought, that's cap. I get the front and I get the back. Lil Uzi the facts, like that's a rack. Bought some new boots just to wear them out. Bought a new Beamer, I run it to the ground. I used to say nothing, I bet they hear me now. Ain't no my business, no need to hear me out. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than the check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best, say less. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than a check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best, say less. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Little me tools, no, I can't be fooled. Little me tools, no, I hate these dudes. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Yeah, I could never borrow from no man. How you talking ownership and no land? I got my roll on, now I'm rolling. I drive on my cars like they're stolen. You got on and put your homies out for ransom. I got on and put my homies on the program. Girls hit me in my DM tryna link up. I leave them on wreck and get a no jam. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Little me tools, no, I can't be fooled. I'm a one. I'm a one. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Little me tools, no, I can't be fooled. Little me tools, no, I hate these dudes. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you.
Okay, we are back. We are live here at Rockwall Ford. Let me do this. I got to figure this part out. I got to figure out how to get this going. This segment's going to be brought to you by Acre Property Team and Angel Cleveland. Thank you, Angel, for everything you do. Again, guys, if you know these sponsors support us, and they're really trying to help us make sure that we can spread the message about highlighting kids and coaches and everything that they're doing on the field, in the pool, court, whatever you want to say, but also in the community. So, if you have any real estate questions or, please reach out to Angel Cleveland, Acre Property Team. Thank you so much for helping us out. We are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Coach Mack. How you doing? Heritage Christian Academy. You're doing really good, and I want to talk to you about it. 3-0, your football team is a lot of points scored, and not a lot of points scored on you.
We have not given up very many points. That's all very good reporting.
Yes, so I keep it very high level for James and Kevin over here, because sometimes I get in the weeds and they don't know where I'm at. So, Coach, I want to start with this. We caught up with you at the last scrimmage of the year.
Came out to a scrimmage, that is correct.
Yes, and I will be out to a game. Yeah. So I get his undertone, you just got to know him. He's fine, guys.
That's why we put him close to you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why he's next to you.
You were excited, and rightfully so. You knew what you had, and kind of, I'm not even going to bring up, what class you're in and where you went and this and that, because it looks like you just have a solid team, and you guys are having some fun this year.
We're having a lot of fun. This year fun is different than last year fun. As you know, last year we went 0-10, which is very odd for our school. We have a very large history in six-man football, a state title, 5 appearances in the state final itself, 10 district titles. We've done really well. We just had an off year, and the boys have worked really hard. They decided at the end of last year, after week 11, that they weren't going to let that happen again, and they were a little embarrassed. So they've been in the weight room. We've been running. We've been working with sprint coaches. We've been boys have been working hard.
Yeah.
And they're a little more experienced. This group of seniors has been on the field since they were freshmen, which is part of our resurgence, and they're leading very well. We got a group of freshmen. We go from seniors to freshmen. We got 1 junior and 2 sophomores on the team of 15. The rest are seniors and freshmen. Freshmen are very athletic. The seniors are very experienced and great leaders. So that's resulted in a 3-0 record. I quite honest with you, I don't think we're done.
Yeah, the district part of it that starts, you're playing Rockwall Providence. Who's a new school. It's Providence, right?
Rockwall Providence, yes,
Yes.
sir. Right down the road.
They're new. Their program. This is their first year. Am I correct?
This is their first year, yes. That's correct.
So, when you're playing a team like that, and you want to come out and you want to keep that momentum going. It's the first district game of the year, and you want to make sure, hey, let's just keep this going. What are you telling the guys this week as they prepare?
I'm going to be honest. We've been comparing the Providence. It's not really a rivalry yet because we haven't played them before.
Oh, he's calling them out. Did y'all hear that?
But you have the battle for I-30 between the Heath Hawks and the Rockwall Yellow Jackets. Well, now we got the battle for 205.
Yeah.
Because Providence is down 205 on the south side.
Yep.
And we're right big smack in the middle of
That's awesome.
Oh, I see a T-shirt coming. That's awesome. There's a
let's
T-shirt
go. We got a rivalry coming.
So it's a battle of 205, right?
Yeah. Yep.
First year program, no year program. Our boys have decided all year that they're going to play 10 one-game seasons. So Providence is just season 4, and so far we've been undefeated in 3 seasons. So our hope, plan, and our work is directed towards finishing this season 1-0.
Yeah.
And the opponent happens to be Providence.
Yeah, I like that. I like the approach there, and obviously, the message is getting through the kids. And I'll apologize if I asked something that you talked about in the opening, because I got somebody that said you sounded far away, so I was fixing your sound. But you sound. They say you sound great now. I mean, so
I sound great now.
Yeah, you're good now.
Oh,
earlier you sound like you were like way back in the back.
That's because Chris usually does put me in the back.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Coach, I'm getting there, Coach. Trying to get some help. Anyway, when you talk about the stars and the different people that you have on the team, who's that leader? Who's that voice in the locker room that's really doing it for you guys?
Our 5 seniors have really done a great job. However, we have 2 that are at the forefront of that. They've been in the program since they were in 7th grade. Zachary Neff and a young man named Will Constable, who's our running back. Zachary is our center. We call it an X because they're receivers, so we have the XYZ receiver or the lineman. So they're the ones that have spearheaded this for the last 2 years. They were around when we were really good and at the top of our game, and they want to put their name on something that goes on the outside of the field house, like the boys before them that they watched grow up play.
Right.
So they're out in front and they're talking and they're one game every season and they're getting the weight room and they're sprint and they're first they're first there at practice. They're last to leave.
Yeah.
That's a good thing right there. That's a good thing. It's good leadership.
For those that kind of are maybe watching or watch this later, the 6-man football, obviously the half the guys on the field, right? So, but what's the biggest difference? If somebody's going to watch it out, watch some 6-man football.
The field is 80 yards long.
I did not know that.
40 yards wide. Still, that's a lot of grass to cover for 6 guys.
Right.
So it's a very wide open game. It's a lot like basketball with pads on. It's not like arena football. In six-man football, the biggest difference is there's two. Every offensive player is eligible to receive a pass or run the football. The quarterback cannot move past the line of scrimmage unless the ball is exchanged in some other way. So you can't just run a straight option play like you can in 8-man football or arena ball.
Right.
There's got to be an exchange. So it makes it wide open. We run more of a tight style offense where some of the schools we play are in these modern day spreads where they toss it back 15 yards and let the back just kind of maneuver his way through traffic and find receivers or run with the ball. A lot of RPO in 6-man football before it was cool.
Yeah. It's fast. It's exciting. I mean, and it's another, you guys being able to keep teams down and not score. There's so much open space, like you just said, that it's easy to see someone that can break. I mean, it just takes one mistake and somebody can take one to the house.
One missed tackle, a lot of one-on-one tackles. One missed tackle, one person that doesn't perform there, there's nobody there to back you up.
Right.
So if you miss, that there's a lot of speed. They're down the sideline and they're gone.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's a lot of space with just 6 people.
What else is going on at Heritage Christian Academy? You guys, I know volleyball's in full swing, but can you let me know? I know this time I was like, I'm going straight to the source.
Volleyball is rolling. Volleyball's rolling. They're 17-9, I think, when I checked before I got here. They start district next week also, or they start district next week. They are in a new district, so but they're our typical Lady Eagle volleyball team. They're predicted to go back to Waco and attend the Final Four. There's a few teams that could get in their way. They're running for district title 18 and 13 in a row, and I'll be honest with you, they are the pick to do it. So they're staring right in the face of 13 straight district titles. A young lady that you've had on the show before, Hannah Brazik, she'll be signing a letter of intent to play beach volleyball.
Yes.
At the University of Mary Hardin Baylor.
Talked to her dad.
Yep.
He's very excited. I think I mentioned
talked about
to you.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's incredible.
Yep. Our setter, Madeline Elston's over 1,000 assists, and she's looking to play some college ball. We have a young lady in the middle, Annabelle Florence, who's a tall girl, and she's closing in on career blocks at Heritage. So the Lady Eagles just continue to roll, and to be quite honest, we get that new gym up. I'm pretty sure at least one wall will be covered with all of their accolades. So they're it's a very confident program, and they just keep up that tradition of it. And I know everything y'all are trying to do over there is trying to gear towards those banners. Yes, yeah, we've been around now for 28 years, and still feels like that people in the Rockwall area just don't quite know where we are. They know where AutoZone is.
Yeah.
And they know where Chicken Express is. And they know where the Catholic Church is. And we say we're in that building right in front of it.
Yeah.
And then they know where we are. But other than that, I mean, like I said, we've been a statue in the community for quite a while now. So we're just looking to put something up that people can see from 205. And that gym is going to be 40-something feet high. It's as far as the Rockwall County Commissioners will let us take it.
There you go.
It's up there. It's going to be bright and shiny. Everything that Rockwall likes, right?
That's right.
Bright,
Exactly.
shiny, and new.
Exactly.
Have y'all seen the 6-man football? Have y'all been seeing any of it?
I went years ago, and I got tired just watching. That was, like I said, you don't say, hey, I'm going to run to the restroom real quick, because you will miss 8-9 scores.
Yeah.
It's that fast.
Yeah, it's fast. I want to ask you about, we see all the football camps and things like that go on around. Do you have kids that attend those camps?
We do.
Number one, and number two, how do you make sure that you're growing the program with the younger kids that are coming in?
So here's the thing. So yes, our kids, there are some that don't take football as seriously as others. But the ones that take football very seriously, they're off going to camps. They're going to see Coach Jason Lavorne, Texas QB camp down at First Baptist. They're going to college camps. They're doing the things like what you would imagine a normal football experience is. What we do is we have a young group of kids that play flag football and such at Lake Point Sports and in local communities, local other community opportunities. And then we have a summer camp of our own every summer. And then we have we bring the kids out. So everybody at our school gets into the games for free. They don't pay to get in, and they come. They watch the games. They watch their friends. They go down in the corner like everybody else does down at Wisdom Field where the ambulance barn used to be, and they have their own little touch game going on. Our boys are up and down the hallways wearing their jerseys like everybody else, but what's unique is we don't have to take our kids off campus in their jerseys on Friday for the little kids to see them. Right. We're all on one campus, so when our big kids are walking through the hallways, all the little kindergartners at lunchtime are seeing them and high-fiving them, and
that's awesome.
They got their own little base, much like the Yellow Jackets have here, but instead of having to go and give tickets and go to the elementary schools, we're all right there. So it cultivates itself. You were mentioning earlier how fast-paced it is. What a lot of people don't understand is we have 15 on our team and 6 are on the field.
Right.
Those same 6 generally will turn around and play defense. They'll generally turn around right back around and play special teams. We try to get them breaks in there, but for the most part, it's the same 6 or 8 kids. And we've got depth this year, but it's 6 or 8 kids that play 75, 80% of the game the whole way through.
So that's a lot of.
Well, that was going to be my question to you. Is forget about last year. Forget about that. So you kind of answered that and the question I was going to ask is, what do you attribute the success of all your athletics to? What is it about HCA that breeds that success year over year over year, not just in football but volleyball and all the other sports that you guys do?
It's the past. It's an understanding and a knowledge of and a teaching of all the young people that came before the kids that are there now. Volleyball, as an example, we have a big alumni game, and we get about 12 to 15 alums that come back for an X's match, and that's our first scrimmage of the year. So you can start scrimmaging on that Thursday of volleyball season, and that's our Friday, Saturday. The alums come back, and they play a 3 out of 5, and usually the match goes 5 sets.
Wow.
And all the younger kids are there, and they see it. We get a big attendance from alumni at the games. We push out, get them there. Alumni can come to the games for free. Their spouses and kids have to pay, but they get to come for free. They're allowed on the sidelines. The alums are with us, so they'll come across. They'll be down there, sometimes communicating with the current players, mostly just kind of watching how things go. I would say continuity. Robert Huckabee was at Heritage for those 20 years coaching. I came from a school that was in the district with the Eagles, so I know Heritage from its beginnings. And when I came on, now this is my 14th year. So you've got a consistency there of people that understand, know, and love the Rockwall community. We're all in on when we have a bye week, our kids go to Jacket games and Heath games. We have kids that went to Heritage that now go. The running back at Heath, Britton Snyder, is a Heritage kid through 8th grade. Our kids still go and support Britton.
Thank you very much for him.
By the way, they had a bye week. They had a bye. We played on a Thursday. Our first game was on a Thursday. Britton was in the stands watching his friends play.
So you guys are like the Rangers. Y'all, the Rangers farm, Texas Rangers farm team. Y'all groom them and then y'all ship them off to Heath and Rock.
We have kids at Dallas Christian that have helped them win state titles. We have young people at First Baptist that have helped them win state titles. Rockwall Heath, one of the tight ends at Rockwall Heath, Ethan Thomas. We call him the Rooster. Wears number 40 now. He was at Heritage through his sophomore year, and we wish him the best of luck. It's not always for everybody, and some of these kids have bigger and brighter dreams they want to try to achieve.
Right.
And they move on, and we encourage them and support them. But that goes back to that. We are our own little community within a small community, and we push that. We talk about it. We communicate it on a regular basis. Like I said, we have alums come back to practice. When they come back, we let them talk to the kids.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think sometimes that gets lost as you grow and get bigger. And
exactly.
You lose that, somewhat lose that. And so I think that's really awesome for you guys. So that's awesome. And congrats on your seasons and the volleyball and everybody. And, certainly hope you guys continue to do well.
Yeah, it's cool to see. I was excited about the way you were approaching that last the confidence that you had and what you were saying after that last scrimmage and then leading into, and then it's like, wow. Of course, Alyssa Williams, she'll send me texts and stuff like that, and like, hey, this is what we did, here we are, and she's got some videos. She's working on some videos and stuff for you guys we're going to be putting out soon. But yeah, it's really cool to see. Are you a Cowboys fan, Coach?
Here we go.
All right. I knew you were going to ask this because I watched the show last week.
You were the one.
I was the one. I'm a product of the DFW area, born and raised in Dallas over by White Rock Lake. So the Cowboys, that makes you a Cowboys fan. That's what we do. And I watch the Cowboys on it. But I don't get overly involved in their ups and their downs. But I can answer questions.
Well, I
Sound
mean,
like you have one.
Well, I just want to know.
You're not going to like it, Coach.
Yeah, I want to know because I've been on this this whole Dak Prescott train since he took over for Romo and won the starting job and things like that. And as great as Romo was, I mean, he didn't get it done, right? So I thought Dak's going to get it done. I just felt it. Dak over Romo is still there for me, although it took a hit. Instead of letting these guys call me out, I figured I would just go straight to it. That's why I made a little video, a little sad, because I wanted to make sure that, okay, you got me there.
He's preventing the beating he's about to take.
Do you like Dak? Do you think that's the quarterback of the future? And by the way, I saw a really cool talking about how much money he got paid, and since then, all the quarterbacks, like he's now like the 10th or 11th highest paid quarterback
and
in the
still
league.
overpaid.
But he's under market, right? I mean, you know what I mean? Like compared to a lot of if you're a starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, you got to make money.
Oh,
right?
Gosh, yes.
That's
sure.
It doesn't matter if you're Quincy Carter. It doesn't matter. Drew Bledsoe. A quarterback nowadays is just going to make crazy money. Dak Prescott, you like him or no?
As a quarterback or as Dak Prescott a man?
Oh, he's great.
Because as a man, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of
future visits on this show.
Yeah, depend on
your answer.
I think he's a good leader. You can tell by the way that all the guys follow him. I believe he works hard on his skills.
This isn't going in a good.
And I don't want to be political.
It's going exactly the way we figured on this end.
I think the Dallas Cowboys can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott at quarterback. I do not.
I think it's a coaching thing and a GM thing. I think. Listen, there have been quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls who were not very good. As a matter of fact, if you're looking at it, Tom Brady was not very good winning a Super Bowl, that first Super Bowl at Tampa Bay, right? His numbers were horrific. His defense was lights out, right?
Exactly.
So I mean, hey, I think he's good enough. There's only going to be so many Mahomes, right? Lamar Jacksons or Josh Allen. I think Buffalo's the best team in the league.
By far.
There's only there's only a few quarterbacks that are special talents. But after that, you can't say like, well, nobody else can win Super Bowl because the quarterback's not Josh Allen. I don't believe it.
The thing is, for
good
me,
enough.
And I'm just going to cut you off and tell you, here's what it is for me, and I'm sure Coach Brooks and everybody else around here can tell us the same thing. If you've got the 15th ranked quarterback, then you have to have a top 10 offense in other places, and you've got to have a top 10 defense. If you have a top 10 defense, it changes a lot of that as well,
right.
Which is why Dak went 13-3 with that great defense, and last year they had another good defense. Maybe I was overstrong by saying he can't win a Super Bowl. There's been obviously, Jim McMahon won a Super Bowl because he had a great defense and a great running back and a great offensive line. You can put a lot of quarterbacks in that category, but really if you're going to set your team up around Dak Prescott being arguably a top 15 quarterback, then you got to have.
Well, he's top 15 because he's like top 8.
Yeah, but their offensive line is not.
You say he's top 20.
The receiving core is not.
Right? The receiving core is not. You're 100% right. Even with a healthy Michael Gallup, you're not. And then you can argue the merits of who the running back should and shouldn't be, but based on Dak's talents, it's probably Tony Pollard and not a pounder.
No, I think Tony Pollard's the better running back.
Exactly.
I think this is Zeke's last year. I was a big Zeke fan when he lost all that weight and the offensive line kind of started aging and.
There's a lot more factors. But
I would expect this is McCarthy's last year as well. Mm-hmm. I might be wrong, but seems like this is probably it for him. But in all reality, it really starts at the top with ownership and some of their draft picks. And, to me it doesn't, they pick one or two guys in the draft that are but to me they don't really plan for the future a whole lot. Look, Cooper Rush isn't the guy.
No.
But you cut all your quarterbacks and then you bring him back.
Yeah.
So it's foolish to put all your eggs in one basket at that game. This is the most physical game.
In the modern NFL,
Yeah.
you've got to have 2 quarterbacks and you got to have 3 running backs.
Yeah. And look, that's not McCarthy's fault, right? That's Jerry's fault.
That's
Jerry's the guy.
Jerry and Steven's fault.
That's right. They make the decision. So, but anyway, I know there's 4 teams in Rockwall County that's better than the Cowboys.
Yeah, no, 100%.
that for sure.
We'll stack them up. We'll stack them up, starting with Heritage Christian Academy, and they can line up against the Cowboys and play some 6-man football, see what happens.
And I bet they win.
We
Yeah.
bring them out.
They got some
Field
big,
on a Friday night.
they got some big kids. You got some
We got
big
some tall
kids.
kids.
You got some big kids.
tall kids.
Yeah. So of course, it doesn't take much to look big standing next to me, but
Me.
Yeah.
For that matter.
Yeah.
Now, I do know this, and I don't mean to take you long.
Yep.
Y'all were making fun a little bit earlier, and it was funny talking about water polo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we hired a tackling coach this last year. His daughter is a Division I water polo player from Rockwall, Parker Thomas, that went on to Siena College. So I just wanted to throw the
Shout
water
out
polo
Parker
back
Thomas,
in there
water
for
polo.
We got to
Yeah.
go. We got to schedule a game.
We got
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
In
we-
fact,
we-
we should do a host a game day at a water polo match.
Yeah. Yes. We'd have to do it at a away site because we're kind of not allowed to do this. But anyway.
Hey, Forney's just right down the road.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
So anyhow, Coach, good luck to you guys as we're going to do everything we can in the Rockwall County Game Days power to create the 205 rivalry, and we're gonna have to bring on Rockwall Providence and just let them know that hey, Coach Mack said it's on.
That's right.
And we're
Stir,
gonna
stir.
we're gonna that's
We
what
have
I do.
to.
I like
That's the deal.
We get a
We gotta-
T-shirt with
yeah.
2
Gotta
helmets and
bring
they're
it
like
on.
crushing each other.
Coach
except,
Max said.
yes. So good luck to you. I think it's great. I think it's great for Rockwall to have something like that that's going to be born, and hopefully it's one of those games that people are talking about, and hopefully. Hopefully you come out on top, Coach. I'm sorry, Rockwall Providence people. I haven't met you yet, but right now, Coach Mack's my guy, and he returns my calls. So, he's in.
Hey, you know me. I'm all about the community.
Yeah. No.
All about the community. All of our teams.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Yeah,
man, we
no.
sure do appreciate you. And it was a pleasure to meet you.
it's nice to
Yes,
see you
sir.
guys.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Thank you very much.
All right. When we get back, we are going to jump into let's jump into Roy City first. We'll jump into Roy City football. The Bulldogs drop one at home. But, are we going to overreact, or are we just like, hey, we're district starts in 2 weeks, and that's what it is?
Stay tuned to find out.
Yeah, stay tuned to find out. We're going to talk some Bulldog talk. Coach, thanks again for joining us, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Chris.
Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
I'm away. I'm away. I'm a 1-to-1, I could never be you. Low me tools, no, I can't be fooled. Low me tools, no, I hate these dudes. I'm a 1-to-1, I could never be you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Anything you could do, I can do better. I can do better than you. Drop my first single, let go, he rap. You thought it was a drought, that's cap. I get the front and I get the back. Lil Uzi the facts, like that's a rack. Bought some new boots just to wear 'em out. Bought a new beamer, I run it to the ground. I used to say nothing, I bet they hear me now. Handle my business, no need to hear me out. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than a check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best, say less. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than a check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best, say less. I'm a 1-to-1, I could never be you. Little me tools, no, I can't be fooled. Little me tools, no, I hate these dudes. I'm a 1-to-1, I could never be you. Anything you could do, I can do better. I can do better than you. Anything you could do, I can do better. I can do better than you. Yeah, I could never borrow from no man. How you talking ownership and no land? I got my roll on, now I'm rolling. I drive on my cars like they're stolen. You got on and put your homies out for ransom. I got on and put my homies on the program. Girls hit me in my DM tryna link up. I leave them on wreck and get a no jam. I'm a 1-to-1, I could never be Drop my first single, let go, he rap. You thought it was a drought, that's cap. I get the front and I get the back. Lil Uzi the facts, like that's a rack. Bought some new boots just to wear 'em out. Bought a new Beamer, I run it to the ground. I used to say nothing, I bet they hear me now. Handle my business, no need to hear me out. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than the check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best, say less. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than a check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best, say less. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Lil' me tools, no I can't be fooled. Lil' me tools, no I hate these dudes. I'm a one-to-one, I can never be you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Yeah, I could never borrow from no man. How you talking ownership and no land? I got my roll on, now I'm rolling. I drive all my cars like they're stolen. You got on and put your homies out for ransom. I got on and put my homies on the program. Girls to me in my DM tryna link up. I leave them on wreck and get a no jam. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Lil' me tools, no I can't be fooled. I'm a one. I'm a one. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Lil' me tools, no I can't be fooled. Lil' me tools, no I hate these dudes. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Drop my first single, let go, he rap. You thought it was a drought, that's cap. I get the front and I get the back. Lil Uzi the facts, like that's a rack. Bought some new boots just to wear 'em out. Bought a new Beamer, I run it to the ground. I used to say nothing, I bet they hear me now. Handle my business, no need to hear me out. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than a check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best, say less. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than a check, say less.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Yeah, here we go again. So, hey, listen, appreciate Coach Mack coming on, seriously, for Heritage Christian Academy. Really excited. I'm going to do, again, because you didn't hear me talk, what I can to fuel this new rivalry with Rockwall Providence and see if I can't get some bad blood-ish going. I don't know what you call it. But,
You're just looking for T-shirt ideas.
I am. I'm looking for something. If anybody's got ideas on what we can call this new rivalry for Heritage Christian Academy and Rockwall Providence, please comment below. All right. Hey, listen. Let's get into some Royce City Bulldog football. The Bulldogs, they drop one at home to Melissa, and obviously. I don't think I saw it coming. We knew Melissa was a good team. People have picked Melissa to do good things this year in their district, and a lot of people liked what they had. They obviously have dropped a couple of games, but to some better teams, some good teams like Argyle, I think was one of them.
China Springs
is good. So China Springs state champion. So so they lost some games, but to some good teams that certainly aren't going to define their season. And what they did to come into Royce City and get a win on the road against a 6A team who has been playing really well, was kind of I didn't see it coming. And quite honestly, when I was away, I was kind of, really tuned in to the Rockwall Prosper game and wanted to see how Heath was going to play against a good team. And so I thought, hey, Roy City should handle some business here. Melissa's good, but the way they're playing, and the opposite happened. I'll let you tell us a little bit more about it, what you saw. But they were outgained 450 yards to 358. This according to Dallas Morning News is where I'm pulling some stats. The rushing is kind of what I was a little surprised at, only 136 yards, 177. And we'll talk about maybe some contributing factors to why that is. Me not being there,
that's the main one.
Yeah. But, hey, Kenneth, Spring was 17 or 28. That's it's almost 61%. 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, you'll live with that, especially with a team that has the running backs and the talent they do to do some jet sweeps and to do some creative things to get the ball. Basically a running play, but it's not inside the tackles or anything like that. But they drop one. Listen, I think when I did the rundown on their schedule, if I still have it in the back here, I think I still do. See what I had them at overall. I think I had Roy City overall at 6-4, thinking that they're gonna drop one of these non-district games, these preseason games, and they're gonna prepare themselves for district. So it's not the end of the world. Listen. At this point, everybody has a loss in this district. The schools, I think everybody does.
Mesquite Horn does not.
Mesquite Horn does not. But the schools that concern us in this local area have dropped one. So I don't think anybody's overly concerned as far as the record is. But personnel and injuries and things like that could start to be an issue, and we're seeing that with Rockwall, with Heath, with Roy City. The injuries are having a little bit to do with what's going on. As long as they're not season-ending injuries, this would be the time to kind of have those and work through them. But James, I'd just like to get your thoughts on kind of what you saw last Friday night.
Well, welcome to the world of high school football, where anything can happen. I said last week I thought Melissa was going to do exactly what they did. They were big and physical, and I think that what we wanted to do to them, they came out and did to us. And so, we're not in district.
Right.
They gave us a wake-up call. 2-0, scored a whole lot of points. We're feeling pretty good about ourselves.
Yep.
And thought we were starting to get that train rolling, and bam, we hit the wall. And that's okay. That's okay, right? So we're going to I was at practice this week, and I didn't see what I saw were a bunch of guys at work. Mm-hmm. Right? They knew they should have played better. They know that they are better. And Melissa showed us some weaknesses that we needed to fix, and I think we will fix them. We have some injuries. We had some play in certain positions that weren't necessarily what we expect them to be. Visiting with the coaches Monday night, they're making some changes, and they're doing some different things, and so they're preparing for that, and I think they'll get that corrected. So overall, while I'm disappointed in the loss, I'm never happy to have one, but the fact that it happened now, we had some things exposed that we needed to work on that, when you're scoring a whole lot of points with other teams, you don't necessarily see those weaknesses.
Right.
So now we see them. Now we can fix them, because we got 1 week, and then we have an off week, which is going to be good for us, so we can heal up some of the minor, aches and pains and get ready for that first game at North Forney. But, let's don't look past Bowie. So bottom line is, I think Melissa, in the end, did us a favor. I'm going to look at it like that. They did us a favor. They showed us some things we need to fix, and we're going to fix them. And I think you're going to see a different team on Friday. I think you're going to see some guys that are pretty angry, and so I think you're going to see us come out and play a whole lot better against Bowie. Bowie is a different team than any of the three that we've played. They have a smaller line than any of the three that we've played so far, but that line is faster.
Fast, yeah.
They move, they pull, they do some things that we haven't seen from the other teams yet, and they do it well. They've got a couple of good receivers, 5'11", one of them, 6'2", the other one. They like to run deep and throw that ball up and see if they can catch it. So they're going to test some of our they're going to test our backfield. So I think it's a good test for us. We go into a bye week, and then we start district. And so we'll see what happens. But, this will be the last time I talk about Melissa. But I think Melissa was a learning experience for us.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, I mean, it's worth, if those that know high school football, or know Melissa and like, they were a 5A team. You got to know the program. You got to know the team. There are plenty of 5A teams that will take down a 6A team
Any day of the week.
in a hurry.
Any day of the week.
But again, hey, injuries is part of it. Coach Petroff and that stuff. They're good at what they do, and they're going to try to figure out a way to put the kids in a better position to avoid whatever mistakes were made in that game.
And look, Melissa was a good team. They were well coached. They were in sync. They played well. They're a solid team, and I expect them to do well this season. Yes, they came in, 0-2, but look, man, they're a good team. I'm telling you.
You say they came in 0-2. You guys came in 2-0. Confidence.
Yep.
Maybe you look at it. Okay, well here comes this 0-2 5A school. Well, we're 2-0 in 6A.
Yep.
Kind of that trap game that people talk about.
That's it. That's it. And there's, what? Better it be the third week of the season.
Yep.
But look, it doesn't matter. As long as you come out healthy, it doesn't matter, because in another week you're 0-0.
Well, that happened to us last year about halfway through district in Ennis. Mm-hmm. And Ennis came out. We played real well with them in the first quarter. First half, we were hanging with them. Then they came out and they just put it on us in the second half.
Right.
And then you look at the subsequent weeks after that. We went to Crandall, 64-65 ball game that we ended out on top of. But we never really got back rolling after that. Yeah. And, you go 8-0, and then, bam, right there you hit Ennis. And they, Ennis took us to school, man, and they did. So, with that being said, let's get it out of the way now, third week of the season.
Yeah.
Let's go into Bowie, get a different look, take care of some business. Then we're going to get a week off, and we're going to heal some aches and pains. And then we're going to come into North Forney, and North Forney's a good school.
Yeah, North Forney off to a decent start, getting a couple of wins, early on.
I think this is going to be your week, like, when we talked about it when that Denton school, kind of put us. If you remember, Jeff said that he would hate to be the team that had to play, the Hawks afterwards. Mm-hmm. And look what happened. I would hate to be Bowie this week.
Well,
Your
I'll tell
kids
you.
are going to come in mad, and they're going to come in with a point to prove.
How you respond?
And that's what it is. You got to respond this week.
I'll tell you what. I didn't see anger. I didn't see finger pointing. I didn't see the blame game. I didn't see any of that. What I saw was a little bit of a disappointment, right? Because we know we're better than that.
Exactly.
But what I did see is, man, we need to fix this. We need to fix that. We need to move a few things around. The coaches will even tell you that, hey, okay, we even got a little exposed.
Right.
So I think that was a lesson. Is what I'm going to use that as.
Yeah, and hey, listen, these coaches, they watch film, they figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are, and they try to exploit it. Now, that's not going to work for every team,
Sure.
right? So
Right.
so that's why the overreacting to it. Hey, listen, they'll come out. It's how they respond. And Bowie and North Forney and the teams that are coming up for the Bulldogs, they may not be able to replicate or do what Melissa can do. And then you see the Bulldogs, start to do what they do. You still got to give a shout out. I mean, Sam Mitchum, 20 attempts, 87 yards, 1 touchdown. That's over 4.5. It's almost 4.5 yards a carry. You have Nicholas Weaver, 4 catches, 90 yards. That's over 20 yards a reception, 2 touchdowns. Jonah Roberson, he 6 receptions, 71 yards. So there was some production there. I think Sam, a game like this is good for a tough running back like that to get into the grind and the heat of the battle, and know that every yard is just going to be. I'll go back to that the I-30 Classic last year. What Zach Evans and Zach Hernandez did, they were just. It was a tough, physical game, and they just had to go out there and be men about it and say, we're going to take what we can get. So you don't want to overreact. And I don't think we certainly will. I don't think the coaches will and say, all right, it's time to start over like the Cowboys, but
no, absolutely not. And I'll tell you, and again, we'll go back to Sam. I've known Sam since he was in 5th grade, and I've watched him grow, and he's developed over the years. And this year, senior year, this is a different kid. Mm-hmm. So, and he wears his emotions on his sleeve, and he understands the game this year better than I've ever seen him understand it before.
Sometimes it just clicks.
That's right.
It's a good season for it to click.
Absolutely. So I am not at all concerned about the mentality of any of these guys whatsoever, because again, a lot of these guys have played together for many, many years. So I expect them to.
On the defensive side of the ball in that game, what did you get the sense of, just how they felt coming out of that game? We know offense, that Melissa, but still the defense, gives up some yards. Just a sense of where they're at.
Well, I'll tell you, during the game, one thing that we noticed, and we talked about it after the game, is there was some mental mistakes. Melissa gave us some looks that we hadn't seen, trips, quads on the outside, and you saw some adjustments, and we were a little flat. So, they showed us some things that we didn't get to look at, but I'm glad we did, because now we're going to be prepared for
right,
them.
Right.
And so as much as it hated to lose, it was a really, really good game for us to see things we hadn't seen that we know we're going to see again. And Melissa was a good school. So, from a defensive standpoint, I think the guys, fundamentally, we're a sound team. We know how to tackle. We know it may not look like that on Melissa when you watch the film, because we missed a lot of tackles. But we know how to tackle. We know how to play. They understand the game. And so I think you'll see the defense come out. They manipulated us a little bit. Our defensive ends would go one way. They should have went the other. And so they again, exposed some things that are – and keep in mind, these defensive ends that we have, they're younger kids.
Right.
So it was really good for them to see that. Our linebackers, we got a good core of linebackers with Klump and Scott and Rob and Watkins and Harris and all those kids. So they saw what happened. Melissa they did a good job of exploiting some things that we haven't seen. Yeah. So with that being said, we're going to be prepared for that. Next week.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing how they respond to Bowie. I mean, again, I've called it preseason, right? You're preparing for week one. It's great that, for a good break for Roy City to have the bye before you start district.
Who'd you have to pay to get that?
Well, and I'm going to tell you something. If
we go straight into Rockwall, or Rockwall comes straight into us, it's just boom.
I'm just guessing that we won't be accused of coming out flat or soft against Bowie. I can almost I can almost bet that Bowie's going to have a headache when this game is over.
Yeah.
Because that was said a lot after Friday night when we played Melissa. So I can bet you there's going to be some aches and pains after that game. Probably on our side too a little bit, because our kids pride themselves on being tough, you know.
Yeah.
And so a little bit of question there in that Melissa game. You know, hey guys, come out soft, came out flat. You didn't, you know. And I don't know that they like that very much. So I can bet you at Bowie there's going to be some hits.
Well, I can't wait. I'm going to have a front row seat pending credentials being approved, because I just made my schedule just now because I thought Heath was home for whatever reason. But I'll be at that game, so I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys play. Let's turn the page and get ready for Bowie, and then the bye week comes, and here comes North Forney, who we'll talk about more later on what's going about in the district. So all right, so let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We come back. I want to. I was not at the Rockwall game. I did watch the Rockwall game. They go up against Prosper, who is very good. They beat Euless Trinity. They beat up on. Who did they beat up on? It was I believe Saxe, 51-14, and then they get into a defensive battle with Rockwall at home, and Rockwall drops a game. So I want to talk about Rockwall just for a little bit, and then I'm interested to see where Prosper is, because they played Denton Geyer this week.
I can tell you where they're going to be.
Yeah, so
3-1 or 2-2, whatever they are now.
Yeah, well, I know, but hey, I want to see kind of where they're at. But we'll talk a little bit about Rockwall when we come back. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a couple minutes.
Single leg, oh he rap. You thought it was a drought, that's cap. I get the front and I get the back. Lil Uzi the facts, like that's a rack. Bought some new boots just to wear 'em out. Bought a new beamer, I run it to the ground. I used to say nothing, I bet they hear me now. Ain't no my business, no need to hear me out. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than a check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best, say less. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than a check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best, say less. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Lil me tools, no I can't be fooled. Lil me tools, no I hate these dudes. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Anything you could do, I can do better. I can do better than you. Yeah, I could never borrow from no man. How you talking ownership and no land? I got my roll on, now I'm rolling. I drive all my cars like they're stolen. You got on and put your homies out for ransom. I got on and put my homies on the program. Girls hit me in my DM tryna link up. I leave them on wreck and get a no jam. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Lil me tools, no I can't be fooled. I'm a one. I'm a one. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Lil me tools, no I can't be fooled. Lil me tools, no I hate these dudes. I'm a one-to-one, I could never be you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Drop my first single like, oh he rap. You thought it was a drought, that's cap. I get the front and I get the back. Lil Uzi the facts, like that's a rack. Bought some new boots just to wear 'em out. Bought a new beamer, I run it to the ground. I used to say nothing, I bet they hear me now. Ain't no my business, no need to hear me out. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than a check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best.
Okay, we're back. We're live here at Rockwall Ford, and This segment's going to be brought to you by Tucker Roofing Systems. John Tucker, we appreciate everything he does for us. Play like a champion today. I like that. We're actually long overdue just because summer stuff got crazy, and I don't use the trailer as much I don't use it at all during the summer, but it's being Alpha Graphics is going to wrap it for us, and Tucker Roofing sponsors our trailer, and so on the back of our trailer it's Tucker Roofing, play like a champion. It's good, really nice. So can't wait to show that off. Let's talk about Rockwall football real quick. The Yellow Jackets, they dropped one to Prosper 19-11 this past Friday night. And, these were two teams. These are two really good teams. And so, to go on the road and drop one by 8 points, it's a defensive battle. I think Rockwall 230 total yards, Prosper 279 total yards. It's not very often that you see teams held, especially higher ranked teams, held under
a Rockwall team.
Yeah, held under thumbs as I was looking at my unmute button, make sure it did. But a defensive battle there. Rockwall only 22 yards rushing, 104 for Prosper. 22 was kind of sticks out. And then, Rockwall still waiting on Lake Bennett to come back.
Yep.
I hear he is working out and practicing. I'll bet you to see him. Haven't talked to anybody, but, I expect Lake Bennett to get some work in before the I-30 Classic game that is next week. Listen, Marshall and Locke, they're two younger quarterbacks. I say younger, Marshall being a junior and Locke, who's a sophomore. But that's I think, as you guys pointed out too last time, they want to kind of see what they have in those. Locke gets 5 attempts, Marshall gets 21 attempts. There wasn't anything like eye-popping as far as the Yellow Jackets getting exposed. I think they were caught up in a defensive battle. They didn't run the ball well for whatever reason. I've yet to talk with Coach and I will. But to see if there was any major energy. I haven't talked to anybody about stuff like that.
I haven't heard of anything. Prosper's a good team.
Yeah,
Prosper's a really good team. So there's.
Yeah, and they've they'll play Denton Guy or Prosper will this coming up week, but and Rockwall tomorrow night will play, and they're on the road, and so I'm going to go see them. I'm going to go see the Yellow Jackets play. I did talk with wide receiver Noble Johnson last night. I was at the Williams game, and shout out to Williams Middle School that a really good 30-20 victory over one of the Wiley's middle schools. Really good game. They've got some promising. They got some big kids, just to be quite honest.
Yeah, just from the videos I've seen you put out there, there's some big boys on that team.
Yeah, they do.
Big boys.
Yeah. So, but I talked to Noble, and he said that with a big smile on his face, as he always does. That's who Noble is. Just a great young man. But he said, hey, they had a great week. They're fired up. They're ready to put on a show. They're ready to get back to it. Again, they go on the road and they lose to a good Prosper team. I don't think there's anything to hang your head about this early in the season. For them, they're about, okay, what mistakes were made? How can we get better? And be ready for that I-30 Classic game, which is sure to be another good one. It always is. But yeah, hey, listen, they're going to figure their stuff out. That's what good team. Coach Brooks and that staff, they're a really good staff. They know what's going on. They've got good running backs. Their O-line has traditionally been. You talked about Melissa. Is that smaller and faster? No.
No, that's what.
Bowie, yeah. That's what they've been known to be. They're a little bigger. They're physical. They're going to figure that running thing out, and they'll move on from that one game.
I would not want to be South Grand Prairie this week.
No. Honestly, that line's going to have something to prove. You're going to walk in from a 22-yard total rushing.
Yeah.
No, not when you're
Yeah,
used to what
and if
they've
it is
done
like
for.
Bennett at quarterback, he's just been this is his senior year. I'm sure he's just like a mad dog, just on that chain, ready to go. And so so hopefully I'd like to see Lake in this game, and I think he'll have a good game.
Well, just from a strategy standpoint, okay, he set out for Prosper. You had your two younger guys in. Okay, we're not going to look past Grand Prairie, but we know we've got probably the biggest game of the year coming up. So Lake, if he can play, he will play.
Yeah,
and they're going to fine tune that to get ready for next week.
Yeah, he's going to get all the bugs out. He's going to work out all the kinks. Get the timing down with his receivers.
Well, I think that listen, Marshall and Locke, those are two really good quarterbacks, right?
Sure.
But that there's something about that timing that Lake and these Meeks and Noble, about the timing that they worked on during the summer, right? So I'm sure they're all eager to get that going when Lake steps back in. But listen, I mean, they played with with their backup quarterback and third string quarterback, and Prosper's a really good team, and they lost 19-11. I've said the defense really excites me. I'm really, and we'll get to Heath later on, but I really like their defense. I think they're really good, and if you can hold a team like Prosper to 19 points, under 300 total yards,
exactly,
you're going to be in games, because I think if you see a team like that come playoffs, they're firing on a different cylinder, right? They're ready to go, and they're going to have the quarterback, whoever it is, they're going to be ready to go.
You hold any high school team, 6A, to less than 20 points. Okay, you can hang your head up on that, especially a team like Prosper.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and taking, maybe you don't look at the offensive side of the ball, but for teams like Heath and Royce City, and those of us that are going to play them again, that's good defensive film to watch.
Right.
So we can get a good eye, because what Prosper did is,
whatever they did is something that everybody in the district should look for and see what they can match. Now, the thing about Rockwall is they're going to watch that. They're going to watch that same film and it's okay. You line up here, and here we're going to go over here.
Absolutely.
They're going to make their adjustments also, because that's the kind of team that Rockwall is. Rockwall is a good game. And you go back to Lake, you think about it. I've watched Lake since he was in junior high on the other side, playing my boys on this side. And you know that he is chomping. He's already missed homecoming. But to play starting quarterback, senior year, I-30 Classic, after the game we had last year, he wants that game.
He's playing against South Grand Prairie, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to play.
He's going to get in there.
Because he's got if I had to predict, I bet you Noble and Meeks get a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, Meeks had a good game. He had 7 receptions, 92 yards. Kai Helton, 6 receptions, 67 yards. Noble, 4 for 41 yards. So, they've got they've just got playmakers, all over the field, much like Heath and Royce City do. And their defense is really sound. I mean, again, you go on the road. And you give up. If you were told me, hey, Rockwall's going to go on the road, they're only going to give up 279 yards, just 100 yards rushing. I'm saying, they win by probably 20 points.
Exactly.
But credit to Prosper. That was a big game for them. I'm sure there was a lot of eyes on that game.
Right.
And they come out with the victory. And they're probably excited about it. But I think if you're Rockwall, if you're looking for the positives, it's what you did defensively. And your quarterbacks, your younger quarterbacks, they were in the game. They were in the game, and funny things can happen, later on in the season once playoffs start. And
you have to look at looking at the defensive side. That's a good point, because you got to look at they have Heath, they have Royce City, and they have Mesquite Horn. Never thought I'd say that, but they have Mesquite Horn. 3 teams that are scoring points. So their defense is going to have to be part of this if you want to go on up there and get one of those top 4 spots.
Right.
Yep.
So giving up that amount of yardage, a loss it's a tough loss, but it goes back to what we've said before. Next week they're 0-0. So here we go.
That's it. That's
what,
it.
what did Coach Mack say? It's game one of the season.
Game
or
one of the
something?
season.
season.
Every season.
Exactly.
Every
I love
week.
that analogy.
Yeah.
South Grand Prairie's got a freight train coming, and hopefully they're preparing for that. Now, could be interesting. Who knows? Anything can happen on any Friday night.
We saw that
could
last
happen
week.
to us. That's
Yeah,
right.
we saw that last week.
So, well, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Shout out to Overstreet. 5 solo tackles, 5 assists, 10 total tackles, 2 for a loss. Cunningham, 11 solo, 5 assists, 16 tackles, 6 of them for a loss. Aiden Barrera, I put a little highlight thing that he did, and 6 solo tackles, 3 for a loss. So they've just got playmakers in Jarrett Stoner, Mr. All-American. He does it all, wrestling and everything, but 11 total tackles. So they're just a good team. I think let's see, hurries. They had 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 hurries, right? Interceptions. Meeks had an interception when intercepted for a touchdown return. I believe that's right. But they had his mom had a great video of him making a big interception, and his dad played, I guess, defensive back for Texas Tech. So,
well, and look, they've got tough man. If they get past South Grand Prairie, Rockwall Heath, Horn, Roy City, back to back to back.
That's a little gauntlet right
so
there.
they've got a tough stretch coming.
Yeah.
So,
That's a little gauntlet right there.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, we're like with the other teams, if with Roy City and Heath early on, there was really no time to overreact and panic about it. It was one game, and they're preparing for district. So I'm sure Coach Brooks and them will have things ready to go, and I'm excited to see it tomorrow night. Okay, let's do this. Let's take one more break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about Heath, who keeps rolling, and they've bounced back nicely after week 1, and so we'll talk about them. Don't go anywhere.
Single leg, oh he rap. You thought it was a drought, that's cap. I get the front and I get the back. Lil Uzi the facts, like that's a rack. Bought some new boots just to wear 'em out. Bought a new beamer, I run it to the ground. I used to say nothing, I bet they hear me now. Handle my business, no need to hear me out. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than a check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best, say less. Talking too much, say less. If it's less than a check, say less. If you can say it best, say less. I'm taking all best, say less. I'm a 1-to-1, I could never be you. Little me tools, no I can't be fooled. Little me tools, no I hate these dudes. I'm a 1-to-1, I could never be you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do better than you. Yeah.
Boom. Now you can hear us. I know. I'm gonna get this figured out, guys. I'm sorry. I guess I'm gonna have to get my man back here to help us out. But let's talk about Heath. They continue things. They play a Mansfield Lake Ridge team. They win 45-35 at home. 499 total yards for the Hawks versus 411. 270 rushing. That's a number that really we're used to seeing by that experienced O-line that all left, except for Cash Cleveland, who is the leader on there. I think he's the guy that drives that O-line. And let's see, Caleb Hoover, almost over 68% completion, right? So he's 229 yards, 2 touchdowns. The rushing, you give a shout out to Britton Snyder and Tuzno, Britton 130 yards, and Malachi with 117 with 2 touchdowns. Snyder had 1 touchdown. I thought this was a really good win for them. Another step in the right direction for Coach Harrell and his squad. They've obviously put week 1 behind them, and they are starting to figure out who they are. This team's going to be fun to watch. Again, we're not looking past this week as the Hawks travel to Waco to play Midway, but obviously the district in the I-30 Classic is looming. Kevin, I want to ask you while it's on my mind, any concerns about the guys looking ahead to the I-30 Classic?
No. From what I've, I talked to Peyton yesterday, and we usually have our little discussion about practice and stuff. And, I told him, hey, y'all are going up against the 0-3 team. They've scored a total of 34 points in 3 games. You guys scored 35 in the second quarter against the Trinity team. And his response is, Dad, we're not looking anywhere. It's going to be – we don't want it to be a letdown game. They're either going to come in down or they're going to come in on fire. They want to take down the big dog. So I think these guys are going into this every week the same way that they should. They're not looking too far ahead of the schedule. I just don't think we're good enough to look ahead on the schedule right now. It's 1 week at a time. New coach, new regime, new quarterback, new receivers, new running backs, new defense. It's all new, so they're still learning the whole process. And I think what each one of these kids is doing is they are each taking this as a new week. And no, we're not looking ahead. Now, is it in the back of their mind? Well, of course it is. It's been in the back of their mind, since they said, hey, let's
go. It's the Ohio State-Michigan game. Like, everybody's circling it. When is it?
Exactly.
When is it coming?
It's always on the calendar. Everybody knows when this one is. People take their vacations and cancel weddings. Just go watch the Rockwall Heath game. But you got these seniors out here that had this game circled that are starting since they were junior high kids. I don't think we're going to have a letdown. I don't think Coach Harrell will let them have a letdown. He keeps them grounded.
Yeah.
We don't. Yeah, it'd be easy to let this end up being a trap game just by Midway's numbers alone.
Exactly, and that's what I was worried about. But I don't think that's going to be. I was listening to an interview the other night after the game, and they interviewed Peyton, and they was talking about his game, and he's it was my time. He goes, whether we're down by 30 or we're up by 30, we keep the process.
Yep.
And if that's what you're going to do, you keep the process. The process is each week.
Yeah, and we're talking about Kevin's son, Peyton Wingfield, the senior, who's leading the team in receptions, 14 receptions, 220 yards on the season. Clearly has stepped up as a young man to watch out for. And they talked about I remember going out to some summer workouts, and one of the dads, pointing out, like, you got to watch that guy in the slot, right? He's going to be and some comparisons to a wide receiver that left who's at Ohio State, who got to suit up the other day, Corbin Cleveland. He got to suit up for a game at Ohio State. But, if you're being compared to Corbin Cleveland.
Jordan Neighbors, which was actually on the sidelines.
I know.
It was good to see him.
Gosh, man, I love that guy.
He's such a good kid. He came up and talked to us after the game. Before the game, he got a concussion, so he didn't get to travel this week. But, he came back and sat there on the sidelines and watched the kids play. It was good to have him back, too.
Yeah. Side note, I have every intention and plans on using my media status to be at the Baylor TCU game in Waco on November 19th. But let's get back to last week. What you saw from the Hawks, and what kind of excited you coming out of that game.
Well,
And it's okay to say you're excited about your son because he put up the
you
numbers.
know what? I'm excited about I'm excited
Yeah.
about that kid that played well. We'll get to him in just a second. They come out and we weren't really. I didn't know what to expect with Mansfield. Hadn't really pressed up on them at all. But we kick off and they just marched the ball. They just marched it. They had a really, really good quarterback. Threw a beautiful ball. Their running game was good, and they just drove down the field. And first thing you know, it's 7-0. We get the ball. We got lucky on a fourth down call that they finally called a personal foul on the other team. We marched it back down their throats, and here they go. And at the end of the first quarter, it's 14-14. So I'm thinking, okay, here we go, shootout. Then your defense steps up. We caused 4 fumbles. We recovered 3. We held them. I won't say we held them to 124 yards rushing, which is not bad at all. But I'll tell you what I was impressed with the most. Our defense is still learning. We had a couple of key players out this week that will be back, or last week they'll be back this week. But the Malachi and Britton Snyder, that two-headed snake. And these 117 yards and the 130 yards each one of these kids got respectively, that it was not easy yards. There's not a breakaway 60-yard touchdown.
Right.
They were hitting that line on the 6 or 7 yard line, and it looked like they were down. The next thing you know, they're coming out, and they're in. Cleveland, as you was taking, Sammy Beasley. Sammy Beasley has just become a monster, and I've known Sammy since he was in the 6th grade. I used to coach him with the Hawks. And he's a great kid, and he's worked for everything he's got, and I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. Now we did have a couple of setbacks. We had a couple of guys got hurt, and what I was impressed with is Peyton does play the slot receiver, but you got your starting wide receiver that got hurt. He moved out, didn't miss a thing. And he deep snapped. He was on a kickoff return. He's doing everything. He holds the extra points. He did everything that the coaches asked him to do, and he had the game of his life. He had 8 catches for 136 yards, no touchdowns. He was in. His toe was in. Dez caught the ball, and his toe was in. Mr. Referee, touchdown. You called me. You got me on that one. But 8 receptions for 136 yards, and he didn't have a touchdown, and he had just about as big a smile as if he had 2 catches and 3 yards and 4 touchdowns. It didn't really matter because he did what he needed to do. He did have one go through his hands. It was a little high, but I've taught him since he was a kid. If you touch it, you catch it.
Yeah.
And he came off the field, and I heard the broadcast. I went home and watched the game, and I heard on the broadcast they were saying, Wingfield comes off. It looks like he thought he should have caught it. Well, he did. He thought he should have caught it, and he didn't. But you know what? But you can't let that one just sit there and rest in your head. And he came back out and he did his thing. We got J.D. Webb's going to step up this week. A good receiver. He's fast, good kid. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what we can do. I think that Caleb Hoover is becoming more and more comfortable at that quarterback position. He's learning. He's learning who his guys are. He walked over to the sidelines and told Peyton that he was his safety blanket. So, hey, if you want to make him a safety blanket, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I know at one point Caleb is really learning that RPO, when he can, when he can't, when he should, when he shouldn't. And he absolutely punished a kid at the goal line the other night. I mean, the kid had him dead to rights, and you don't stop that freight train. He knocked the kid 3 yards backwards for a touchdown. So we don't want to continue to do that too much, but I think Coach Harrell has these kids' heads on straight. They're excited. They come out. I get there early, as you do, and we go out there and we sit there and we watch them warm up, and they're all business. You don't see a lot of joking around and horsing around, which I like that. I'm sure you guys do the same thing. But they're all business. Once you put the pads on, it's all business at the Heath Hawks.
Yeah, and Lake Ridge came into that game having some success on the ground. So and I think they held them to just over 120 yards. So
124.
Yeah, so defensively, this team, I've said that Rockwall's defense has excited me, but this Heath defense is starting. Create some turnovers. They look like they're fast. This defense going forward. How good do you think they can be?
I think they'll be fine. We still need to get the secondary. We're giving up too many passing yards. Can that be fixed? Yes. I mean, like I said, we had a couple of defensive guys out last week. So, and we still got some young guys up there, and they're still learning. So, we don't. Do we want to go and make it a shootout every week? No.
Right.
No. But third game in, we talked about it since day one. I like the new defense. I like their style. When they hit, it's a swarming defense. You're not going to get hit by one. If one stops you, 5 more are going to come hit you. And they are knocking the ball out. I can't tell you how many fumble recoveries that is this year.
Yeah, I've got a ton of videos that Jeff sent to me. He was at that game, and it was a lot of defensive plays.
This is a good game for the Hawks to kind of settle in.
I think so.
And fine-tune that preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Just come out healthy.
For the next week. Come out healthy.
Come out healthy.
But fine-tune it. Hoover, get a little more comfortable. We
Yeah.
move the new guys around. We get, we get Peyton out there where he needs to be. We can let him settle in, and we continue to get set and let that defense keep doing what it's doing. But this is a good game if they don't trap us. And here I am talking to us like we're together. But as long as they don't trap us and we get out there and we can kind of settle in and do what we need to do to prepare.
Well, you got a 2.5 hour drive to down to Waco. You're going somewhere you've never played them. You never played this team before. You don't know anything about them. You watch film, but just don't underestimate them. It's anybody can beat anybody on any given night. Don't go in here thinking they're 0-3 and they don't score and come out letting them be 1-4 and y'all lost by 15.
Yeah.
We can't do that. We have to keep grinding at what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Do not change anything. Keep it going the way we've been doing.
Yeah, I think I don't think this will be much of a trap game. I think they go on the road, they handle business. You see some younger players, get their time in and figure out what they have as far as depth,
Right.
and then we rock and roll starting next week.
And I like your schedule. We'll take care of business at Midway. We go in. We do what we got to do with Rockwall. We get Mesquite. Okay. Then we get Legacy. Oh, okay. Then you get a week off. And then you hit Horn.
Then we come in with Horn and then Roy City. We'll see what happens. You got Mesquite's not exactly what I thought they were going to be this year.
Yep.
Legacy, since they didn't call Chris back at all, they're exactly what I thought they would be so far this year.
Yep.
So I know you don't like that bye week that far down, but it might work in your favor.
It might. It would. It just depends. You come out of the Rockwall, Mesquite, and Legacy. You come out 3-0, 2-1.
Yep.
You're sitting pretty good.
Yeah.
And you get that chance to rest your guys.
That's right.
And see what you got.
And then you finish up. Finish out.
Who knows what Horn's going to be by then? Who knows what Horn? I mean, Horn's playing good ball right now. They're 3-0.
Yep.
Yeah, we talked about. All the returning players ahead. It was just head scratching. Now their season went last year, and
Horn has surprised me so far.
Yeah,
I did not expect this.
Yeah, you get a first-year head coach, and he's got a lot of weapons and tools to work with, and he's like, all right, we know we can plug these guys into our system right away.
Right.
And they're doing well. Let's see what
who they played so far.
Let's see what they've got.
They beat Bowie. They played Bowie.
They did beat Bowie.
Yeah,
they did, and there's Horn right there. So, they've got Tyler. Let's see, they
beat Tyler.
They beat Tyler. They've got Arlington, this week, and then they go to North Forney.
Yeah,
and so.
Yeah, you look, just based off the schedule. You kind of look for them to keep rolling for a little while as they head into district play as well. So, it's going to be a fun district, no doubt.
Yeah, and you kind of look in here, you go, where's their letdown game? You don't have a letdown game, really. Arlington's a decent team, but I still think they go in and beat Arlington. But then you got a pretty good little raunch right here.
Yeah.
Mesquite being a crosstown rival, Rockwall being who they are.
And they get Rockwall at their house. So they've got to come
Changes.
here to take on the Hawks, but they
Changes everything.
That's right. They do get Rockwall at their house, and if they're rolling,
yes,
that could be their game of the season there.
And are they the healthiest team going into district?
Right.
Don't know.
Yeah.
You got to look at it right now.
That's right.
I mean, you're hurting. We're hurting.
That's
Rockwall's hurting.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's the healthiest team going in right now? So
That's right.
Yeah, I don't. Obviously, that's going to play a role in what goes on, but
Right.
it's going to be a very interesting district and to see how it plays out. But let's see. All right, so I'm gonna go see Rockwall tomorrow, which you were surprised Thursday game, but Thursday, and then I'll head over to Arlington hopefully to see the Bulldogs play. I want to give another quick shout out to Dallas Christian. We'll switch gears here a little bit. Last thing on Heath, I think they're gonna be fine. That they're starting to look. Hoover is the.
Hoover looks good.
Yeah.
He looks really, really good.
Yeah, he's just going to get more comfortable in that position, and as the coaches, see what he's doing, they'll make the game plan. They'll tailor it to him a little bit more, and I think in a couple weeks.
Which is why I think this is a good game for him to prepare for this next one. He kind of settle in. And
we'll have we had a little issue with our safety spot last week. We had a younger kid in, and Brady Luff will be back this week. We missed him last week. There was a couple of deep balls that I think he probably knocks down. So he was out with the concussion protocol last week. He should be back this week. So I think we're going to be fine. We saw what we had.
I expect you to be fine.
I do too. I just I'm concerned. I'm concerned about keeping our health.
Yeah.
One more, God forbid, one more receiver goes down. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, we've got folks that can step up, but you lost two stud receivers, and both of them had just scored touchdowns.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, not only that. I mean, you want
down.
that experience for Hoover. Him getting the starting role this year. So.
Well, that's kind of what this is about, right? Next guy in.
Next man up. That's what my boss.
And it does kind of it does. Riding the yellow dog for 2 hours, and it's kind of that's hard too.
I bet they don't ride a yellow dog.
Well, hopefully not. I mean, this is the furthest. This will be the furthest one. Look, if they're going to do it right. But that 2 hour drive, man, that can be a little.
Oh, I'm going to be tired just driving down there myself. But it's like you say, my boss at work, Robert Barvey, he come up with something and he tells all day, every day. We go with the problem. You come up with a problem to him, he'll tell you right now, what is your solution? Don't come with me with the problem without your solution, and watch the next man up. Yep. Next man up, and that's what we'll see this week is next man up. Peyton did it last week by moving to the outside. You brought in Webb. You brought in your younger receiver, and we did just fine.
Yeah,
so we'll see what happens.
And the running backs are
running backs were amazing. I love watching Zach last year.
Yeah.
But these two guys, Tesno and Snyder, they are ferocious. When they hit, they will punish you also. They will punish you. You want to tackle them, it's going to cost you.
Yeah, I got to come up with a nickname for them. My nickname for Zach and Preston was PB&J. It's like because you can't have peanut butter without jelly, and it kind of stuck. Like I remember it sticking, and they talking about that. So I got to come up. It
is sticky.
And let's not forget, we finally got Eli into the mix this week. Eli got his first touchdown of the year. And he looked pretty good. So that's just another weapon that we can throw in there.
Yeah.
This could be a really good game for you, man.
I think so. I think it's going to be a good confidence booster. I
don't want to underestimate them, but it could be a good game.
And it might be that game we need. Maybe to get some of your backups in, and save your guys for that week.
Yeah.
Could be, if you're up big enough by the end of the third, and you can have that.
That's right.
You're off quarter for a night, but
yeah,
I know they're going to go out and they're going to play hard. And one thing for everybody, remember what we were talking about earlier, if you're driving back Friday night from
public service announcement here.
If you're driving back Friday night from the Rockwall, from the Heath game, from the Roy City game, coming down I-30, do not forget they will have the bridge shut down to one lane all night. So
I would
go
avoid
a different route.
Yeah.
Go cut through 80 and come back through 40 or whatever. But that one lane on 30 is going to be an absolute mess, and that is
it's Friday and
Thursday,
Saturday.
Friday, and Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Yeah, it's going to be a bad situation.
It's going to be a bad situation,
and it'll be all night long.
Yes.
So,
yes,
definitely.
Yeah, so maybe I'll just
stay out of the
maybe
way
I
of
will
that.
watch it online. I don't know. No,
Don't be a quitter, man.
I need
Come
some
on.
video. I need to jump back in it. I loved the time I had off, but I need to get back in it. Okay, really quickly before we go, I want to shout out Dallas Christian. They win again, big, 58-0.
Yeah.
456 yards to 124 over First Baptist. Luke Carney, the sophomore quarterback who wins the state championship as a freshman, super efficient. Almost 73%, 246 for 4 touchdowns. And then you get Zach for 9 carries, 136 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's finding his rhythm. He's scoring a lot of touchdowns. Receiving, Will Nettles, they call him Speedy. That's his nickname, Will Speedy Nettles. 2 catches, 96 yards, for a touchdown. Right, so he's going to burn
Pretty
you.
good average there.
Yeah, and Zach added to it right here. 1 reception, 67 yards for a touchdown. So, they continue to roll. They're a big time team, big time powerhouse, and their private school football for the 12-man football. So we expect to see them keep rolling. I think that's it. I think we've had a lot to cover. Appreciate Coach Mack again, Heritage Christian Academy coming out. Hey,
Good luck to them this weekend.
Is Texas back?
I think so.
I don't know
quarterback got
yet.
hurt.
We'll see. That they played well against Alabama. We'll see. I'm not ready to.
I
go
think that Gary Patterson-led defense was a difference.
Yes.
And he even put out a statement to say thank you for everything, but this is Coach Sarkisian. Is that this is his team. This is a staff thing. But I think people are noticing.
And he will not be on the Longhorn staff very long.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, he
will be back in D1.
A legend.
Yeah.
In Fort Worth, and it was just kind of a breath of fresh air probably to step out and not have to take those daily duties that the head coach has and those appearances and all those pressers, and he's just doing what he does. He's coaching defense.
Totally understand that.
Texas did well. Let's see if they can do it again.
Yeah.
And
you don't want to be like the Aggies and drop a sorry Aggie fans. Yeah,
Or Notre Dame.
Yeah, or Notre Dame or Florida or
It's been a crazy college season already. 2 weeks in, and it's great.
Yeah.
That's
So
why I love college football, man.
Yes, sir. I love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Good luck to all your teams out there. We wish them the best. Good luck to Heritage Christian Academy as they start this nasty rivalry that's already brewing. There's people. I'm telling you right now, there was some
riots in the streets.
Yeah, there was some Rockwall Providence people
bonfires.
that were just in here. I mean, I thought I saw a Heritage Christian Academy flag burning. I cannot confirm or deny that. All I know is it's going to be heated in Rockwall here Friday night. So if you get a chance, if you're not making the drive anywhere and you want to go see, especially if you're a Rockwall fan, because your team plays Thursday, go show some support and head on over and watch Heritage Christian
Go watch
Academy.
some 6-man football. If you've never seen it, it's
But
fun.
take water because you're going to get tired just watching.
You do get tired watching.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Round 3 tomorrow, Corn Ferry Tour qualifying stage 1. I'll be on the bag, my man Charles Porter, and I can't wait to see if we can do some work. You guys have a good night. We will see you on game day. Good night.
Go Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs.
Go Hawks.